Morning. Good morning.
Gorgeous day. Even the wind, I'll tolerate that.
Just dries everything out. You have to water a little more.
Yes. Well, and also fills up my sinuses. Oh, well. Anyway.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not. Let's see. What's going on? Well, even with all of the issues with the global pandemic, with COVID-19, the scamsters, the crooks, the thieves, the liars, they are out in force, aren't they?
Yeah, they never rest.
No, they don't. And, I get roughly 400 emails a day, coming through the Kxo server.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say 150 of them minimum are scams.
Yeah, that'll give you an idea. They got idle time on their hands.
Well, they see an opportunity to take money from you. Yeah, they're touting all these, this miracle pill will protect you from COVID-19.
You know, though, I mentioned this morning before I left home, that the, what do they call them, the robocalls?
Yes.
They have went way down.
Really? Well,
which I'm not complaining.
One of the great things about caller ID is, unless I know who it is, I don't answer.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been receiving a huge number of calls from the Republican National Committee, is what they're saying. Yeah, again, it's send me money. Send us lots of money. I have no idea how I'm an avowed Democratic socialist. So, I have, when I first registered, I registered as declines to state,
mm-hmm.
which is DS. And every time I would go into the polling place to vote, DS, TS, what's that? Democratic socialist, don't you know?
Mm-hmm.
That was pre-Bernie.
Pre-Bernie. Yeah, the world's not going to be the same.
Oh, well. Anyway, we've got an NCAA Classic coming up, and right now we have a bit of a vignette.
Now, a tournament flashback. Last year's first semifinal game paired Auburn against Virginia. The winner was headed to their school's first ever title game.
Here's Guy trying to penetrate, nothing there. Backs it to Jerome. Open three, right wing. Got it! Jerome rolls the three, gets a big shove from his teammate Kyle Guy, and the lead is 10.
Ty Jerome and the Cavaliers survived a late run by Auburn to win the game 63-62 and punch their ticket to Monday night.
Lowe's Pro customers, listen up, because we have something special just for you. Introducing the Lowe's for Pros loyalty program, built just for pros like you. By signing up, you'll have access to personalized offers based on the supplies you use most, be able to track purchases so you know where your money's spent, and get tools to help manage your business. All because we value the pro behind the business. And it's time someone got behind you. Enroll today at lowesforpros.com. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
Hi, this is Julie Oliver. As your local Allstate agent, providing protection that fits your life is something I take well personally. I am committed to learning about your needs and personalizing protection to meet them. From bundling your auto, home, and life insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage based on your protection needs, I can build an insurance proposal that fits your life. Are you in good hands? Contact me, Julie Oliver, today for a free quote at 760-353-5800. That's 353-5800.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Life insurance offered through Allstate Life Insurance Company and Allstate Assurance Company, Northbrook, Illinois, and American Heritage Life Insurance Company, Jacksonville, Florida.
Well, coming up, we've got all sorts of good things, world and California news, local news, and more. Yesterday, George Gale visited with our Assemblyman, Eduardo Garcia, and a great interview. It's available on the KXO YouTube channel, also on our Facebook page. So check that out. And Gene, tomorrow morning, we hope about 8:30 tomorrow morning, we'll be visiting by telephone with the Imperial County Chief Executive Officer, Tony Rahotis.
Yeah, that's right. I remember yesterday you saying that he had confirmed.
We'll be talking to the chief.
In more ways than one.
Yes.
Being a chief.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to, old habits are hard to change.
Yes.
I knew him for a long time, longer still yet as a chief than I did as the county CEO.
Yes. And we're celebrating today. Today is Burrito Day. Mm-hmm. Now, you know what a definition of a genius is?
No. I know what the definition of an expert is.
Okay, but a genius is a person who can prepare a burrito without overestimating the amount of filling it can hold.
Yeah, I would say that probably pretty much wraps it up there.
Yes. Good one. Okay. Are you ready for the news?
I'm ready.
We're going to jump right in with a look at World and California news headlines right now. Brought to you by Bobby and Mary Locke, your year-round comfort specialist. For sales, for service, call the experts at Locke Air Conditioning.
CBS News special report. The government says 6.6 million people filed new unemployment claims last week, a record that doubles the one set just a week ago. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
I think that as we look at economic growth, it's obviously come to a standstill, and that started as early as the beginning of March. We are obviously in a recession already.
Economist Joel Naroff says the unemployment rate could hit the teens.
With new states imposing restrictions and some states that didn't have statewide restrictions imposing them, we're likely to see claims in the millions for several more weeks to come.
San Jose construction worker Chris Hernandez says he's hopeful and optimistic.
I feel it's a good thing. We should be home. It hurts a little bit in the pocketbook, but in the long run, things will get better.
And some states like Florida plan to counter job losses with construction projects. And on Wall Street, the Dow is up well over 200. CBS News special report. I'm Peter King.
Locke Air Conditioning wants you to protect the things you care about. Protect your family with the air scrubber that utilizes Active Pure, certified technology to protect against airborne and surface contaminants. Clean, deodorize, purify, and protect not only your family, but your home. The air scrubber installs easily to your heating and cooling system, and it's made in the USA. Call Locke Air Conditioning now for details. 760-353-4501. Locke Air Conditioning, and protect the things you care about. Contractor's license number 696216.
California headline news. A 44-year-old train engineer who said he thought a Navy hospital ship in Los Angeles was part of a planned government takeover derails his train in an attempt to crash into the ship.
Conspiracy theories. I don't know what is going on in his head, but Mercy doesn't even have any COVID-19 patients.
Peter Reynolds saw the derailment took place. The train coming to rest about 250 yards from the docked ship. The suspect identified as 44-year-old Eduardo Moreno of San Pedro. L.A. Mayor Eric Garcia now recommending that residents there cover their faces when they're out in public, but still wants them to stay home.
This isn't an excuse to suddenly all go out. You need to stay at home. But when you have to go out, we are recommending that we use non-medical grade masks or facial coverings.
Our city insisting the medical grade mask be reserved for medical professionals on the front lines of the current health crisis. Number of COVID-19 cases in California climbing above 9,900 with the number of deaths now up to 216. Jeff Scott, California News.
World and California news headlines brought to you this morning by Locke Air Conditioning, your year-round comfort specialist.
America is a great big country.
Filled with all kinds of different people.
And we all count.
That's why the 2020 census
wants to make sure we're all counted.
Why is it so important?
Because the census helps inform how hundreds of billions of dollars will be spent each year for things like
new roads, health clinics,
even more school programs.
So make sure you're counted.
Because you count.
Shape your future. Start here. Complete the census at 2020census.gov. Paid for by U.S. Census Bureau.
When Allstate agents and employees go to work every day, their number one priority is protecting what matters most to you. For military veterans, that instinct to protect also comes naturally. No wonder thousands of veterans build good careers with Allstate. And now, Allstate is ranked the number one employer on the 2020 Military-Friendly Employers list. You're in good hands with Allstate.
For career opportunities or to get a quote, contact Allstate today. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's page one of the local news, page one of service of Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers with 2 locations in the valley. Quick Lane, they service all makes and all models, and you never need an appointment.
Good morning, and taking a look at the latest in local news. The number of positive coronavirus cases continues to grow in Imperial County. As of Wednesday evening, there are 43 confirmed positive cases of the virus. The Imperial County Public Health Department update
CBS News
shows that a total of 271 individuals have been tested, with 219 showing negative results for the illness. There are an additional 9 tests pending results from the San Diego County Public Health Department. Numbers of pending tests from private sources is not available. The cases continue to increase, and according to County Health Officer Dr. Stephen Monday, we can expect to see the number of individuals testing positive to keep growing up over the next several weeks. And speaking of the health officer, he has amended an order. George Gale explains.
It went into effect yesterday, Wednesday. Imperial County Health Officer says that the amended order will remain in effect until further notice. The amended order reiterates the stay-at-home order for all residents living in Imperial County, except to attend critical needs, such as getting food, medications, or medical assistance. Exceptions are also for essential workers employed in the essential critical infrastructure sector, as identified by the California Department of Public Health. Additionally, all businesses in Imperial County are to remain closed, except for those determined to be part of the essential critical infrastructure sector. CDPH reserves the right to amend the list of essential critical infrastructure sectors at any time. For KXO Local News, I'm George Gale.
KXO News Time coming up to 7:43.
It's Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers with 2 locations in the Valley, on Imperial Avenue next to Food for Less in El Centro, and in the Brawley Auto Plaza, Highway 86 and Julia Drive. Quick Lane services all makes and all models, and you never need an appointment. They're open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. And Quick Lane has the best prices on name brand tires, guaranteed. Just ask your Quick Lane advisor for details. Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers in Brawley and El Centro.
Another community blood drive will be held this week. El Centro Regional Medical Center will host the Livestream Bloodmobile this Friday, April 3rd, from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. The Bloodmobile will be in the parking lot of the ECRMC Medical Office Building at 1271 Ross Avenue in El Centro. During the current pandemic, blood donations have dropped significantly, while the need for blood continues. Blood donations will be made by appointment only, and donors are asked to call 1-800-879-4484 or visit lstream.org to schedule an appointment. Potential donors are reminded to drink plenty of fluids and bring a photo ID with proof of age. Donors under 17 must bring a signed Livestream parental consent form. Well, the first coronavirus death in Baja California has been reported. Here's more on that story.
It reportedly happened Monday. San Diego Union Tribune printed the news on Tuesday. They said a 70-year-old Mexicali man was the first to die as a result of the virus. Newspaper got their information from the Baja California Secretary of Health, Alonso Perez Rico. A man suffered from hypertension and obesity. He'd been hospitalized in Mexicali for 4 days with the coronavirus. So far, Mexicali has reported 22 cases of coronavirus. Tijuana reports 11 cases in that city. Testing in Baja California has been limited, with less than 300 tested in a state with a population of 3.3 million. For KXO Local News, I'm George Gale.
And that will conclude this edition of Local News. Page 2 coming up.
Page 1 of the Local News, a service of Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers in Brawley and El Centro. Quick Lane, they service all makes and all models, and you never need an appointment. AM 1230 and the Westwood One Radio Network presents NCAA Classic Basketball. Great games from NCAA tournament history. The series includes the classic 1979 matchup between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. TCU versus Georgetown. The 1983 championship game between North Carolina State and Houston. Some of the greatest games in NCAA men's basketball tournament history on AM 1230.
NCAA Classic Basketball is brought to you by Imperial Trust and Lumber in Imperial, with hardware supplies for the contractor or the do-it-yourselfer. Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers in El Centro and Brawley. H&R Block, the professional tax preparers, and Liberty Motorsports, 1999 Arizona Avenue in Yuma.
Page 2 of the local news and weather brought to you by David H. West Insurance Services. See David or Jose for life insurance, health insurance, or retirement planning.
Continuing with page 2 of the local news, the Imperial County Office of Education confirmed that Imperial County public schools will remain closed for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year. The Imperial County Office of Education announcement is in alignment with the recommendations from the governor and the state superintendent of schools. According to ICOE, while school facilities are closed, the school year is not over. County educators are working to serve students and families through distance learning and providing meals for students, and that will continue. Protecting inmates and correctional officers is also a challenge these days. Here's more on the story.
It is taking some juggling. Idea is to protect inmates and officers from COVID-19. Imperial County Sheriff Ray Loeta says they are trying to keep the jail population low. Says misdemeanor and nonviolent crimes will likely get a citation and will not be taken to jail. Current inmates convicted of misdemeanors will be released with limitations approved by the courts. Sheriff said each case will be reviewed. Aggressive criminal, violent offenders, sex crimes, and other felonies will still be taken to jail. A smaller jail population is easier to control the possible spread of COVID-19 coronavirus. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation is also taking measures to reduce the prison population. For KXO Local News, I'm George Gale.
California Highway Patrol is investigating an accident that occurred Wednesday afternoon. The accident was reported shortly after 3 p.m. in the area of West Carter Road and Loveland Road. The vehicle, an IID sedan, was reported to be fully submerged in a canal. Initial reports indicate that the vehicle swerved, ran off the road, and plunged into the canal. There were no injuries reported. We'll be back with a look at the weather.
David H. West Insurance has been helping residents in Imperial Valley for many years with their insurance needs. David, Jose, and staff are trained professionals who can help you make the right decision with your insurance coverage, from health, Medicare, and most importantly, a life insurance plan. How much life insurance do you need and what's your monthly cost? We'll call David H. West Insurance today to make an appointment and get a free quote on a life insurance plan that's right for you and your family at 760-352-3411. That's 352-3411.
Here's Carroll Buckley with the weather update.
The National Weather Service says temperatures for the remainder of this week will stay near or slightly above normal readings under continued dry conditions. Sunny days and clear nights will be the rule through most of the weekend. A weather disturbance will approach the region early next week, allowing for a gradual cooling trend and a return to slightly below normal temperatures beginning next Monday. 91 the high yesterday, 62 our low. It'll be sunny today with a high near 85. West wind 5 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 20 miles an hour. Clear tonight with a low around 56. West wind 5 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. Friday will be sunny with a high near 84. West winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming north-northwest in the afternoon. On Saturday, Sunny with a high near 85. West-southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, increasing to 10 to 15 miles an hour in the afternoon, with gusts as high as 20 miles an hour. It'll be sunny on Sunday with a high near 81. West winds continuing 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. 65 degrees downtown. With that, 48% our relative humidity. Wind out of the west-northwest 10 to 15 miles an hour. Page 2 of the local news brought to you by David H. West Insurance Services. For life insurance, health insurance, Medicare supplemental coverage, talk to David or Jose at David H. West Insurance Services.
As our country continues to work through this crisis, China Palace Chinese Food remains open to serve our customers. Simply call 760-353-1510 for takeout service. You and your family can enjoy the same great food you're accustomed to for lunch or dinner in the comfort of your home or office. If you need a menu, go to ChinaPalaceRestaurants.com. Delivery to your home or office is also available. So order your favorite Chinese food, lunch or dinner dishes like salt and pepper fish or chicken, Mongolian beef or chicken, seafood dishes, and more. For home or office takeout, call now, 760-353-1510, 353-1510. That's 353-1510. Yes, China Palace Chinese Food is now open for takeout service for as long as they're allowed to do so. Takeout service now at China Palace Chinese Food.
It's sports time. What there is, we've got scores, 7-4, 8-6, and in overtime, it was 112 to 111. In other news, the New England Patriots team plane brought back 1.2 million N95 masks from China. The transfer of the masks, the result of multiple global negotiations between the government of Massachusetts and the Patriots and China. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys are giving Aldon Smith a chance to resurrect his playing career. The talented but troubled defensive end signed a one-year deal worth up to $4 million. And meanwhile, the free agent defensive end Jadeveon Clowney has, he's on sale. He's dropped at least $2 million off the more than $20 million per season he had been asking. Yeah, hey, you can sign him for between $17 and $18 million a year.
Imperial Valley Volkswagen invites you to visit their brand new showroom.
Imperial Valley Volkswagen, Highway 86 and Ayton Road in Imperial, with a huge selection of brand new Volkswagen. From the Jetta to the all-new Arteon, the flagship of the Volkswagen lineup. Stop by Imperial Valley Volkswagen, see the beautiful new showroom, and take advantage of huge savings. The Imperial Valley Volkswagen Service Department is now open. Factory-trained technicians to keep your Volkswagen running like new. Imperial Valley Volkswagen, Highway 86 and Ayton Road in Imperial. It's that easy. Well, baseball, former Houston Astros manager A.J. Hinch and ex-Astros general manager Jeff Luhnow will fulfill their one-season suspensions for the team's sign-stealing scandal, even if no baseball is played in 2020, according to ESPN. And we've got NCAA Classic basketball. Yeah, we've got a doubleheader on Saturday. It'll be game one starting at 9 o'clock, Wisconsin versus Kentucky. It was a 2015 Final Four game. And then we'll follow that with the 1985 championship game between Villanova and Georgetown. It'll be a chance to hear Kurt Gowdy as he called the game. On Monday night, Well, we're going to rehash last year's championship game, Virginia versus Texas Tech. And again, that's Monday evening. NCAA Classic Basketball on AM 1230. That's it for Sports Time. Yes, stick around. We've got a look at financial news.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there. We are broadcasters. Visit wearebroadcasters.com or text radio to 52886 to learn more. Furnished by NAB and this station.
And taking a look at financial news brought to you this morning by H&R Block. Get your taxes done right. Visit the nearest H&R Block location today. Well, first-time jobless claims leaped by a record 6.6 million amid pandemic-triggered layoffs. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, well, it's what everybody expected. And there's going to be more. Meanwhile, the Dow Jones average jumped 350 points, currently at 21,293. The S&P 500 is at 2,511. That's up 41 points. And the NASDAQ up 87 points at 7,448. Gold is up $33.40 an ounce. Time to sell the fillings. And oil is up $5.19 an ounce, a barrel. Yeah. The oil prices jump as it's expected. The Saudis and the Russians will cut their production.
When you do your taxes with H&R Block, you can work with the same tax pro year after year, so they can be there with you through all of life's changes. From bum, 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 to dun, 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 and definitely H&R Block tax pros have an average of 10 years experience, getting people every credit and deduction they deserve. Now guess what that sounds like? Ka-ching! Make an appointment or walk in today. It's better with Block.
If you need your tax refund, H&R Block can help. Just drop off your documents at your local office and head home. A tax pro will do the rest.
We'll have sunny skies today with a high near 85. West wind 5 to 15 miles an hour, gusting up to 20 miles an hour. Clear tonight with a low around 56. West winds 5 to 15 with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Friday, sunny with a high near 84. West wind 5 to 10 miles an hour, then turning out of the north-northwest in the afternoon. And right now downtown we have 65 degrees, 48% is our relative humidity. Wind out of the west-northwest 10 to 15 miles an hour. And the financial news brought to you this morning by H&R Block with locations throughout the valley.
There's nothing better than a company that has great customer service, answers your questions, and provides you with the right material to get the job done. Imperial Truss and Lumber Co. in Imperial takes pride on doing just that for the homeowner or contract. They even deliver valley-wide. Imperial Truss and Lumber carry hardware supplies from lumber to concrete to nuts and bolts. Everything a contractor or homeowner might need. Stop by today at 701 East 2nd Street in Imperial.
The president announced that he will extend social distancing guidelines through April 30th.
In the Kxo newsroom, we've got a COVID-19 update from the Imperial County Health Department.
Coronavirus is affecting everyone. Has issued a domestic travel warning for
coronavirus death in Baja California.
Was diagnosed with COVID-19.
COVID-19 survival.
Globally, we have passed the 500,000 mark.
Stay home. Stay home. Stay home. Stay home.
Hope everybody's safe.
The best oldies on the radio. KXO, El Centro, on AM 1230. KXO.
CBS News is brought to you by Julie Oliver with Dickey Insurance Services, your Imperial Valley Allstate agent. You'll find Julie at 1699 West Main Street in El Centro, or call 760-353-5800.
This is CBS
CBS News on the Hour, presented by Capital One Bank.
I'm Steve Kathan. In Washington, unemployment offices swamped last week as the government reports a record 6.6 million people sought benefits, double the amount from the week before. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says it's evidence of the economic woe caused by the coronavirus pandemic.
These are numbers that we saw over the course of the entire Great Recession. And we don't know how many of these people are going to get back to work and how quickly. But I think the problem is this is like a flood, and the waters are still rising.
CBS's Stephen Portnoy has more on a new virus test announcement that we'll hear today from Washington.
It would be a way of determining who's already had or been exposed to the coronavirus and who may now be immune. FDA Commissioner Stephen Hahn tells CBS News.
We are going to announce today the approval, our first approval of a serology test. Which in laboratories allow the labs to determine this exposure and the antibodies.
Hahn says the deployment of this antibody test could help scientists understand how widely the virus is spread, which will help them understand just how deadly it is. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, Washington.
Off South Florida, 2 cruise ships with sick passengers waiting for a go-ahead to dock. Catherine Callahan's parents are on one of them.
You could certainly catch COVID, but you could be susceptible to something else. So getting everybody off that ship as soon as possible is imperative.
Plans are being made for the critically ill, but on CBS this morning, Dr. Anthony Fauci urged broad action.
First of all, you have to take care of the people who are ill. You just have an obligation to do that. And as quickly as possible, you've got to get the people who are not sick, who are not infected, off the ship.
One unconfirmed report suggests those ships could be allowed in later this afternoon. New York City hospitals are feeling the strain with coronavirus cases taking up a lot of attention. CBS's David Begnaud on a new policy.
EMS workers in New York City have been given a directive. If you arrive at the scene and a patient does not have a heartbeat, if you can't generate a heartbeat with CPR and restart the heart somehow, some way, do not transport that patient to a local hospital for your own safety and for the safety of the hospital staff.
Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti waded into the debate over whether people should wear masks when they venture out for a walk or to get groceries. He's now recommending city residents wear them.
We must protect folks that we come into contact, like our grocery workers, our delivery workers, and other non-medical essential workers when we interact with them.
Checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 366 points. This is CBS News.
Why settle for average? With Capital One, you can open an account with a savings rate 5 times the national average. Welcome to Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet? Capital One N.A., member FDIC.
The way we're all going about doing things these days has changed. But one thing that hasn't is Lowe's commitment to our customers during this very important time. We're here and ready to help with the supplies you need for critical home repairs and products to help keep your home safe and healthy. Remember, you can always shop online at Lowe's.com and have products delivered to you. Home is as important to us as it is to you, and we're in this together.
This is an American Red Cross blood donation alert. We are currently facing a severe blood shortage during this coronavirus outbreak. Healthy blood and platelet donors are asked to make an appointment to give now. Donating blood is safe and can help save lives. Cancer patients, accident victims, and so many others continue to need life-saving blood. Please schedule your appointment now by visiting redcrossblood.org or by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. You can make a difference.
Some riding out the pandemic in British nursing homes have seen war before. Now it's a new fight. Here's CBS's Vicki Barker.
Parading through London in happier days, 300 red-coated Chelsea pensioners, aged veterans, all are now living in lockdown, but not taking it lying down. They know this is war.
Oh, this is a really crafty enemy. You don't know where it's coming from.
Their Commander General Ian Bradshaw calls it
just what you would expect from Chelsea pensioners. Stoicism and great good humor.
And when it's all over,
I am going to have a bloody big party.
But first, 3 cheers for Britain's health workers and its veterans. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Well, stuck at home in front of the TV, many of us have turned to game shows. Nielsen says Let's Make a Deal turned in record ratings on CBS last week. The Price is Right had its biggest audience in 4 years. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Hi, this is Julie Oliver. As your local Allstate agent, providing protection that fits your life is something I take well personally. I am committed to learning about your needs and personalizing protection to meet them. From bundling your auto, home, and life insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage based on your protection needs, I can build an insurance proposal that fits your life. Are you in good hands? Contact me, Julie Oliver, today for a free quote at 760-353-5800. That's 353-5800.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Life insurance offered through Allstate Life Insurance Company and Allstate Assurance Company, Northbrook, Illinois, and American Heritage Life Insurance Company, Jacksonville, Florida.
CBS News brought to you by Julie Oliver with Tiki Insurance Services, your Imperial Valley Allstate agent. For home, life, or auto insurance, call Julie. 760-353-5800.
You've got Carroll Buckley with the best oldies on the radio. 1230 KXO.
After 11, we have on the phone the Assemblyman Eduardo Garcia. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Well, it's nice of you to be so patient. Let everybody know the Assemblyman called 6 minutes ago. He's been sitting there listening to the news like everybody else. How is everything going with you, sir?
Well, look, we are doing what the governor and the president has asked us to do, and practice what we're referring to as physical distancing, making sure that we are remaining 6 feet away from individuals and in smaller groups of 10 or less, but really working out of the kitchen here at home, taking calls like this, as well as ensuring that our constituents throughout the district are receiving accurate, on-time information related to the actions that the state of California is taking and resources that are being made available for those who are being impacted by COVID-19. And so hoping that we can share some of those things today in this interview.
We will do that in just a minute. In fact, I think we're going to blend right into it. Census. Today is Census Day. What does that mean to everybody?
Wow, what a unique opportunity to talk about the census given the current circumstances. Now more than ever, I think it means that by us ensuring that every single person is counted, we ensure that the federal government allocates the adequate amount of resources to this region. And it's a perfect example, the issue that we're facing with today as it relates to medical services, making sure that we have the capacity at our hospitals, at our clinics, making sure that our schools have the ability to prepare future workforce for the medical sector. I couldn't tell you how much more important the message is today than ever, that we have to make ourselves be counted. Aside from the areas of the medical workforce and investing into the medical infrastructure, we're talking about roads, bridges, we're talking about infrastructure that is critical to our region. And at the same time, it really focuses on representation, and we know how important representation is at all levels of government, and these numbers that are collected by the census determine all of the above that has just been mentioned.
A lot of people don't talk about this, but I would think that a good census would help your job out a lot. You, as a representative of your district, part of your job is to get stuff for your district, and you got to get funding for that stuff. And if you have a good census, full accounting, that would probably make your job a bit easier.
You're absolutely correct. I always simplify the work that we do with two very important points, and that is introduce and pass legislation and support legislation that is in the interest of our region and bring home the money. And being able to point to the need via population growth, we're able to tell that story. And again, the census is about making sure that everyone's counted for the purpose of the allocation of resources proportionally. And so today, more than ever, although there are other pressing matters before us that are consuming all of the air today, we need to remind ourselves that the census is fundamentally important to helping us prepare, react, to situations like the one that we're facing today with COVID-19.
I was going to say the census is also important in that regard, in that the funding for COVID-19 repercussions would be a lot easier.
That is correct. And knowing the $2 trillion stimulus economic package that has just been forward, much of how that gets distributed is determined by prior statistics and numbers that are in place today. So making sure, again, that even though we have a lot of other priorities take precedent today, reminding Imperial County constituents that the census is extremely important for the reasons that we've already mentioned.
Okay, how about updating us on the statewide COVID-19 situation?
Absolutely. I think most importantly, there are three initiatives, executive orders that the governor has taken on. The first one is assisting renters and homeowners with the issue of payments. Now, that only works if we can ensure communication between homeowners and their banks. The major 5 banks that exist that provide home loans have agreed to work with homeowners as their mortgages. We also, through the executive order, have put a stop to any potential evictions for those who are renters. But again, that only works if there is a justification tied to economic impact caused by COVID-19. And so we also have to make sure that the homeowners that are renting, the owners of apartments that are renting, also have access to capital through the Small Business Association, who's providing loans to make people whole during this particular time. The other is expediting the unemployment process. We need to make sure that those who have been impacted by the COVID-19 situation and are out of work and are staying home, as the executive order has asked us to, have the ability to apply quickly and have access to those dollars that they so much deserve through the work that they've done along the way. And the third, I would say, is focusing on making sure that we can get homeless individuals off the streets and into temporary housing so that we could eliminate the possibility of spreading the COVID-19 in our communities. Those are three really important actions that the governor has taken. And of course, continuing to really hit the soundboard on the issue of physical distancing. I know the terminology has been social distancing, but really we continue to socialize through other methods, whether it be the social media, telephone calls. We want to make sure that we have physical distancing in order to prevent the spread. There are now confirmed 38 cases in Imperial County. I believe that there are some pending to be determined, and the numbers will increase. The numbers will increase, and how we flatten that curve is by us doing our part. If we're able to stay home and not part of the essential services list of jobs, that we do so. But again, making sure that we're reaching out to all of the entities that are providing support if you're unemployed, if you are in a situation that you find yourselves without a home, and or those who need support because they're renters and or need to pay a mortgage, and the first of the month is now before them. So we have to make sure that people know where to access these resources, and our office continues to be of service. We are taking these calls every single day. I want to tell you the phone number for our office in Imperial County is 760-355-8656. Want to make sure that people are aware that we are taking calls from 9 to 5 to be able to assist people in Imperial County with any questions, concerns that they may have regarding COVID-19 or any of the resources that we just mentioned just now.
Okay, and I'm sure, I don't know if you heard, I'm sure you did, County Board of Supervisors yesterday pretty much supported two of the things that you mentioned, the eviction situation in Imperial County in the unincorporated areas, and also the homeless. They distributed the funds received for the homeless situation.
That's great. You know, over $700,000 have been delivered to the county to address this urgency of getting homeless folks off the streets and into some temporary housing. I anticipate more resources will come in our direction for those purposes. But the action that was taken by the County of Imperial was an important one to really set the tone for the entire community that this is what we need to be implementing during this public health crisis that's before us. At the same time, it's important to acknowledge, given that we are a border region, the actions that have been taken by the mayor in Mexicali and the governor of Baja California will complement the work that's being done in Imperial County and the state of California in order to flatten the curve in our region. It's fundamentally important that what we do on this side of the border, we recognize that has an impact on the other side and vice versa. So we want to really acknowledge these actions that have been taken because it will save lives. And again, I can't say this enough. We have to remain home if we're not part of the essential services jobs list.
Yeah, kind of nice, though, that to hear that everybody's working together right now anyway.
You know, right now, there isn't an issue of that the Republican or Democrat. There is an issue of saving lives. And the federal government is working with the state government. The state is communicating with our counties, and our counties are disseminating the information and enforcing, the policies that are being adopted. Is it a smooth process? No. But is it working to the extent that we're able to get the word out, the message out? Absolutely. One of the things that, the governor has said is that California is going to take the lead, whether the federal government is sending support or not in a timely manner. One example was ventilators were received to the state of California. Not a single one worked. The governor took it upon himself to reach out to Silicon Valley, and in 72 hours, those ventilators were working back in Los Angeles. And we're expecting to be able to get more ventilators to distribute them across the state of California. I mean, really, the governor has taken a really strong leadership role, as he should, in making sure that we can prevent any lives from being lost as a result of not being ready, as a result of not having the resources. And, I got to give it to the folks there locally for taking that action at the county board of supervisor level. It's an extremely important message to send to all of the residents of Imperial County that this is a serious matter and that we have to really practice what we're calling physical distancing in order to be able to flatten the curve.
And it's nice that everybody's working together so we can get that flattened. Before we leave the subject, can you tell us some good news about this? I mean, we're hearing all the negative stuff. Don't sugarcoat it. But is there some good stuff we can talk about?
Well, look, one of the things is that we can say that California acted in a timely manner, and that we could honestly say that we probably will have saved, thousands of lives because of that. We have a lot of work to do still. Every day you turn on the news and you hear what's happening in New York and Illinois, and Detroit, and other parts of the country. But when they talk about California, they refer to California as a place that's been moving aggressively to tell Californians to stay home if they're not part of the essential services job list, telling Californians that there are resources being put forward, whether you're a small business or you're a person who's been unemployed as a result of this. And we're also seeing a collaboration between the private and public sector of California stepping in, as the governor says, to meet the moment. So we want to make sure that, again, just Californians know that they have a role to play, and making sure that they stay healthy starts with trying to stay physically distant from people outside of their family nucleus, and at the same time making sure that when you're going out that you're covering your face, and ultimately just doing the things that are necessary when you're out and back home with your family. So there are some positive things that I think we can say that are coming from the actions that are being taken by the state government, our county government like Imperial, who took that action yesterday. And we have to be optimistic, have faith, and ultimately know that this will go, this will pass us, but really will have taught us an important lesson about how do we prepare for a pandemic crisis like this throughout the state of California and in counties like Imperial County.
There is word from the officials, the scientists and stuff, that say the aggressiveness of California actually saved us from being a New York type situation.
And that's what I'm referring to. And really at this point, what we have to do is just continue to stay on the course, follow the rules. I know that it's difficult. I know, we're home. We have a 5-year-old. We've turned into a part-time kindergarten teacher. And so, between that and the work that we have to do and making sure that we are being responsive to the constituents, of course, it gets complicated. But nevertheless, I think that it's in the interest of our well-being, our public health for Californians. And really what we're trying to accomplish here is making sure that we save lives. And by staying home, we actually are able to do that.
Yeah, we have a 3-year-old at my house that's just driving us crazy. And anyway, I understand. I don't know how accurate this is, but I understand that April is considered the peak month. We with the COVID, they're looking for April to be the peak month. It should be downhill after that.
What we're being told is that we will see an increase in infections across the country during the month of April. Yeah. But what we also will see is how effective, the actions that we're taking early on will be. For example, when we see a spike in other parts of the country, we could potentially see the curve begin to flatten out in California. Now, over the course of the last few days, we've seen a significant spike of intensive care unit attentions. I think it's tripled in some instances, and the number of infected people also increased significantly. So we will see how effective, our aggressive stay-home policies have been. We will now be going into the 3rd week or 4th week, and so ultimately it will be telling about how we've responded to this crisis. But really, it really comes back down to the local community, how serious we're taking the issue and whether or not we are exercising, the directives that are being told. Again, this isn't an issue about Republicans or Democrats. This is about saving lives. This is an issue about public health and well-being, and we have to keep that in mind every single day that we're being asked to stay home, practice physical distancing, and making sure that, we're providing the necessary information and resources to the community on real time so that we're able to ensure that they are safe in their homes and with their families.
Okay, sir, I'm gonna let you go. We have covered a lot on the COVID-19. Several other topics. I would hope you would call back sometime. We can cover the other issues. We'll talk about the new river, Salt Sea, and stuff like that. But we've taken a lot of your time on the COVID situation. Do you think, before you go, do you think if it is a peak this month, are we ready for recovery, or is it too premature to even talk about that?
I think, what I want to say is that the focus of the legislature will be economic recovery and investing into the healthcare infrastructure and workforce this coming year. I've been told that what we will focus on is a budget and public policy proposals that focus on those two areas. We hope that the federal government will work closely with us to be able to put forward additional resources for economic recovery, put people back to work, making sure that everyone is healthy, and ultimately that our economies are stable. We have been riding a good, stable economy with a tremendous amount of job growth that's been led by California in the nation. This is an interruption. This will be a bump along the way, but I think collectively we'll be able to regroup and make sure that we get the economy back going. And of course, places like Imperial County are unique in the sense that we have to do more. We have to double down our efforts to ensure that we have a good economy and people working there and in our border region in order for people to thrive. So we've got a lot of work to do. I think for now the focus is stay home, stay safe, save lives, exercise the physical distancing policies, and really making sure that people know about the resources that are available for them in order to ensure that they're able to put some food on the table and continue to have a roof over their head. That's the focus right now. We look forward to connecting with you again to talk about the other policy issues that you raised. And thank you again for allowing me to share these moments with the people of Imperial County. We appreciate everything that happens in Imperial County. And again, I just wanted to remind folks that our office is available to provide any answers to the questions that they may have at 760-355-8656. Again, thank you so much for allowing me this airtime to provide this information.
Thank you, sir. I hope we've covered everything that everybody wanted to know. Assemblyman Eduardo Garcia, District 56, thank you for calling, sir.
Thank you again.
Okay, we're ready to get back into it now.
All right.
And now, more of the best oldies on the radio with George Gale.
We're just trying to entertain people, and morality's just going to get in the way.
AM 1230.
That's hilarious.
KXO.